Yeah, and you're right, Ali, especially in terms of Arsenal. If you look at it as well, even Tottenham, I know they've obviously got a bit of an issue in terms of Harry Kane, what's going to happen with him, but they're still making signings that you'd say, okay, I think we'll make them better. Obviously, they're being linked to Martinez. I don't think they'll get that over the line, but obviously even being linked to him. But it feels like you're right. Everybody else is moving forward, but at a quicker rate than Arsenal are. So I think, certainly with Mikel Arteta, he won the FA Cup. Then I think last season was his kind of like, to get it right, but now I think he's got no more time in the banks. I think if he starts off this season badly, I think he could be in some real trouble.
This is what worried me, because towards the end of last season, Darren, if you look at the form table, Arsenal was second behind Manchester City for the last however many games, so there was improvement there, but there's still pressure on Mikel Arteta, and if, for example, he has a bad start, like you say, I think you're right. I think I would worry for him. I don't want that to happen, but I would worry for him. And when we talk about attracting players, it doesn't necessarily feel like a very stable place to go at the moment.
No.
James Maddison is the big name at the moment, being linked with a move to Arsenal. We spoke about it yesterday. I didn't think it would be a good move, and it pains me to say that. I didn't think it'd be a good move for him. I then heard Simon on the show with Jim afterwards saying it would be a sideways move. So which move would you take for that?
It's kind of a weird one, because Arsenal, yes, of course, are a bigger club. But as you said there, when you look at Leicester City and the way that football club is run, from the manager to the people at the very top, it is a really well-respected club. They've got all their affairs in order, and it seems like a really classy establishment. So, you know full well from season upon season, you know, they're always going to keep building. They're never going to do anything too drastic. Arsenal all over the place in a minute with signings. They don't quite know where the areas they need to strengthen. Everyone thinks they need a right back. They're trying to sign James Maddison. They need another centre midfielder. They're being linked to other centre forwards. I mean, they were linked to Tammy Abraham for a little bit, and that's another thing. I mean, listen, I'm a big fan of Tammy's. I really like him. I would have liked him to stay in this country, but it looks like he's going to be going to Roma. But it's like we keep buying players that Chelsea no longer want anymore. Now, how can you build a club to challenge for the top four when you keep buying players that these clubs don't want anymore? How does that take your club forward? Yeah,
it absolutely doesn't. Ali, I think you're right as well. The gulf between clubs like Arsenal and Spurs now, in comparison to those top four, top five clubs, really, is huge, and it's only really going to get better unless they spend right, because
100%.
they have spent, but is it the right areas to spend in? It doesn't really seem to work. Nailing Aubameyang down to a new contract and paying him X amount a week hasn't worked for whatever reason. I mean, the only thing I would say about that, Darren, is that actually most Arsenal fans wanted them to do that. You know, they wanted him to sign
at the time. We had to sign him because he was brilliant. You look about him when they won the FA Cup. He's formed that back end of the season. He was brilliant, but then it almost flipped overnight, didn't it? He signs a new contract, and then he can't buy a goal. So it's one of them where now they're caught in, again, the Ozil situation, where you're getting a player that's on massive money. Nobody else is going to give him that money, and he's getting older. So it's kind of like dead money.
Scott, the Leeds fan, says everyone keeps saying Liverpool are moving forward with the others, but where have they strengthened? To me, they haven't improved their team yet at all. But I think you've got to remember they're getting all of their players back.
That's what I think.
Fresh.
Yeah,
right.
I take his point
That's
totally.
like
I take his point totally. But you know, the fact of the matter is that it's like new signings, getting Van Dijk, Gomez, and you know, Jota there for a full season.
They've got all the
Henderson's now going to be back to full fitness.
They finished in the top four last season with all those players missing, so I don't think you can discount.
It's amazing. I don't think Andy's discounting them, but it's.
Trevor did.
I think. Well, absolutely, he did. I think there's. I think we could all maybe agree there's a question mark against them in terms of I'm really looking forward to see how they come back, particularly Van Dijk, obviously.
Okay.
Do you know what, quickly, I watched them against Osasuna yesterday.
Yeah.
The way that they press Liverpool, I think arguably is the best in the league. So I just think that, as you said there, they're going to be in and around the top four, they're 100%, because all their players are going to be fresh.
Yeah.
They play at such a kind of tempo that I think they'll pick up more points than you think.
And also, as we said last season, you can't underestimate losing those players at the back and what it does to the rest of the team and the players up front as well.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.